And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you from all of us. All right, so let me give you a little background music while we get started. And Mika is so happy to see you. Alright, so I was running a little late because... Turn this down. I feel like I've pretty much perfected my own version of like a Starbucks Frappuccino. And I'm doing decaf, and I took it to the next level. I put in my own bobas today, so I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm going to have to eventually make a video for that for our cooking channel. Let me put this in. I don't even have my other headphone in. And we've got 3 people waiting for us. I hope this is working this time, because last time my chat wasn't working. And it looks like it may not be working again. Let me go over here, because it could be like you guys don't see me, or I don't know what's going on, and I don't even know if I'm talking to somebody or what. Let me pull up this just to make sure that we got the chat. Okay, looks like it's good. I don't understand why it's not working here. It worked for a year. But now it's not working. I don't understand why the chat on my side right here is not refreshing. Just doesn't make sense to me. And this time I actually set it up properly on time. I didn't have to restart it. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's crazy, because I hate to have to look over here. It's kind of annoying for me. But if that's what I have to do, it's what I have to do. But I'm trying to see, before we get started, if I can just fix that. So let me see real quick. I hit refresh chat. Is that going to do anything? And it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Oh well. We just have to take it as it is. Alright, so I chatted with somebody today, and we're supposed to do a meditation first before we get started. I hope we can raise our energy for this show today together collectively. So let me see if she's here first. And here she is. It's Julia. So we're going to start with Julia. I'm just going out of order, but no offense to anybody else. And we'll go from there. So let's bring Julia on and see what's going on with Julia. Hey, Julia.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
That's awesome. Have you been on before? I don't think I
have not. I've been like kind of playing in your sandbox a little bit because it's like I was wanting to be a guest on your podcast, but when I saw the comment, it's like I thought, what a nice way to introduce my energy to you and then see if you actually want me on your podcast.
Have you had an NDE?
I actually had a walk-in come in when I was 18 months old to keep my physical body alive.
So a walk-in came and helped you, or you are the walk-in?
No, I'm not the walk-in anymore. All the walk-ins are gone.
Wow.
And yeah, my mom held me under the bathtub water when I was 18 months old, and that's the first time that I actually left my body.
Why was she doing that?
Because I was crying and she didn't want my father to hear.
I guess there would be, we don't have to use the words, but there probably would be some violence or trauma if he did hear.
Yeah, there was a lot of, and then it's like there's a lot of stuff happening as far as that goes. And I have interesting life experiences with stuff. I've always been clairaudient, but I've always gifted as a child. And I remember actually going out in the front yard when I was like 4 or 5 and saying, when are you coming back for me?
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. And so as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna, you're my second person, I think. My second person. So I always wanted to keep doing this. I spoke about it before, and I don't know if you've been here. We've tried a couple meditations. I just think that, excuse me. Sorry, I've got a lot of mucus, so you guys have to deal with that.
Can we clear your throat chakra? So let's come in through the back of your throat chakra.
Right, do that. Clear it for me.
Through the inner wheel. The inner wheel is where your divine spark is. We're going to call in clarity and cleansing. We're going to call in those absolute scalar waves of light. Feel, see, know, or feel it, mixing it all up there in that inner wheel, going out to the outer wheel. Let's bring in confidence and truth and knowledge and allow that to come out the front into your future. That's just a little piece.
Cool.
How's that?
Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So we've done all kinds of different stuff when we were doing meditation stuff. So I have this droning in what?
Go ahead. I'll get too excited.
I'm just going to have this droning music behind you. And you and I don't know how long you want to guide us through a meditation for. I usually, 5-10 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable.
I was going to aim for 10. It might go a little over what I was guided to do. Because originally I was just going to do like a starseed connection, but when I sat down and actually listened to what they wanted me to do, they want to take advantage of the strawberry moon. And then they said, we want to connect with the energy of the owl and the wolf.
Cool. That sounds awesome. So
we'll see what that shows up as. Because I used to co-host. We're on break right now because my co-host has some health issues. But we would always start the radio show with a guided meditation. And on my YouTube channel, I have several meditations. So I love doing this and bringing people into that space.
All right. So for this is my tambura, and it's going to be like just like some background droning music to just give you some kind of meditative state. Eventually, when I get sorted out, I'll figure out other stuff. But I'm going to try to turn down my...
Have fun with it, because it's like I'm okay with whatever you do. It's your show.
Right, thank you. Well, you're easy to work with.
Not always, but most of the time.
So what I'm going to do is, if someone says this is too loud in the chat, let me know, because I can't really...
Well, Well, when I'm doing
You and I, yeah, you and I won't
I'm not
know
going to
the,
be able to read. I'm
yeah,
not going to be able to read the chat while I'm doing this.
right. I'll be monitoring it. So, but for everybody else, I can't monitor all of the. I just can't monitor audio levels. It's hard for me. But I turned down my volume because your voice is the most important. So, what I'm gonna do is just start droning, and whenever you're ready, you can lead us.
Okay. Are we live now, or are
Yeah,
you going to?
we've been live.
Oh, hi everybody.
There's about 140 people here.
Okay. All right. So let's just close our eyes and take a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose and feel that breath going all the way down into your heart space, filling your heart. Allow your heart to expand with this beautiful love and gratitude, passion for self and others. And let's send that love, gratitude, and compassion down through all our chakras, out our root, down, down, down to the crystalline core of the planet and connect with the heart of Mother Earth. And when you're ready, let's receive that love, that all those energies back through your root 1,000-fold, coming up through all your chakras, out your crown, small percentage going to the galactic core, the other 95% wrapping down and around and back through your root, circulating through and around you, creating that perfect toroidal field, beautiful shape of an apple. Attention back to your heart. This time we're going to send those energies up through our crown, the suns beyond the suns, galactic core, connecting with source. And when you're ready, let's receive those energies back 1,000-fold, returning through your crown, down through all your chakras, out your root, a small percentage going into the earth, the other 95% this time wrapping up and around and back through your crown, circulating through and around you, creating that perfect toroidal field, beautiful shape of an apple. The energies are running through and around you. You're holding on to nothing. You're fully anchored in the heart of Mother Earth and connected to Source. And I want you to just go into your heart space. Bring your attention down to your heart. Let's go to that sacred space. And as you look around, you're going to see a beautiful trail. And it's got this beautiful pink lights coming down from the sky, and it's illuminating your path. So you want to follow this path deep into the woods. But there's something that catches your eye. Actually, it catches your senses. The smell and scent of strawberries. They're ripe and ready for you to pick that beautiful bounty. So as you're traveling down this beautiful path, you may see some strawberries, and you may be tempted to just pick one and just feel that lusciousness and the juice of the strawberry. Feel free to do that. That's what they're there for. They're for you there to experience this. And so we really want to keep walking down this path, and now we're coming to this clearing, and there's this beautiful circle of cushions and rocks and stones, this beautiful circle. And the beautiful pink light is just creating a dome of light all around us. So let's just find a comfortable place to sit. Really find and anchor your place and really get comfortable. And just let's bask in that energy of the strawberry moon now. Really absorb that, and let's see who's coming to see us and talk to us on this beautiful strawberry moon, this full moon tonight. And you may see, know, or feel, or get a sense, or use your imagination as this beautiful, huge owl. He has a 8-foot, 9-foot wingspan, comes and lands in the center of this circle. Well, actually, it's a she, and she's beautiful. And there's a path, and this beautiful wolf, who's male, bringing in this divine male energy, is coming and sitting beside her. And they're all ready to share their energies with you. So I want you to just allow themselves, as they heart link their hearts to your hearts. The owl's heart, that wiseness, the wolf. And the wolf is your guardian. And you can always call on the wolf to bring in that guardian energy to protect you. He has loyalty and spirit, and he wants you to know that you are safe and protected at all times. And he wants you to trust that, to really trust that you are safe. And what he's asking for you to do, to go into your heart and to actually relax your barriers, those barriers that have kept your heart locked, to keeping you from really truly loving, from really embracing your wild spirit, he's telling me. So let's relax your barriers, whatever you can let go at this time and space. You might not be able to leave it all down, and that's okay. Even if it's just a little bit, just a little opening is all we need here. He's asking you to release the clutching of some of the unknown fear that you have. Release what you can now. That fear of connecting with someone, that fear of giving and loving and receiving that love. He's all about family and connection. And he wants you to experience that too. And he wants you to know that you're safe doing that. Our vibrations are changing and we're being attracted to our similar vibrations as their vibrations rise. But a lot of us have had experiences where there's been fear, like, oh, well, that's just, or we're disappointed. So we create that reality. We want to release that now. We want to really let it go. We want to allow us to awaken our intuition so that we know when someone comes that we can just let that go, let that barrier go. Because his message is the more you love, the more love finds you. That is his message, and to let you know that you are safe when you're loving and allowing yourself to receive love. Al, she wants to say a few things here too. You might be coming back to the wolf, but it's the owl's turn now. And the owl is saying, with all this love that's going on in the strawberry moon, to pay attention to the signs. She is the omen of the feminine energies. She is giving you permission to connect with her and tap into the source of intuitive wisdom that is available to you now. Allow yourself to receive. You just released. Now you can receive. What is your soul calling for? What is your soul yearning for? Put that out there to the owl and to the wolf. And look at the signs, look for the omens. These signs and omens are manifestation of the Spirit's directive. It's going to help you go down different paths. And as long as you're moving, Spirit will direct you, will find the way. It's when you lock yourself up in your own space and you don't move. You want to give yourself freedom to move. And as you receive these signs, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't use your monkey mind and get caught up in that. Be in your heart space and just trust and heed the signs and follow them. And you might not necessarily see the results of them until weeks later, but know that wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be, following those signs and those omens. So the message from the owl is to be courageous and unafraid that previously you have been fearful of. Just like the wolf said, let those barriers down, let it all go. And now allow yourself to call in that silent wisdom and magic of the owl. And I just want you to open your arms wide, and either the wolf or the owl, it feels like they're just going to go in a circle and they're just going to actually come up to you forehead to forehead. And so just see, know, or feel as they touch each and every one of you in the circle, becoming connected to them. And the energy of the strawberry moon is just illuminated even brighter over all of you. And feel the connection that we have within the circle and within those outside the circle too, and allow yourself to be available to that. We want to give gratitude here to the wolf and the owl and see if they have any last messages. They're saying, if you look around, there's a beautiful long table of stone, a stone table. It's like an altar. And there's all these crystals that are reflecting the strawberry moon. And they say as you leave the center here, this beautiful meadow, this beautiful clearing here in the middle of the night, to gift yourself, they're gifting you one of these crystals. So you can pick it up and you can put it in your records or you can put it in your heart. But these crystals hold the energy of the strawberry moon, the wolf, and the owl. And you can access these energies just by bringing this crystal into your attention, into your meditation or your sleep mode, and really expand on all the energies and all the information that we touched tonight. So I want you just to guide yourself back, hug your neighbor, and let's slowly walk back the path back into the now, that beautiful path of strawberries, and gather up a few strawberries, those juicy strawberries, and taste the juiciness of life. It's ready to be picked. It's ready to be experienced. Allow yourself to experience that. And as you're coming back into your sacred space of your heart, it's time to come back into your body, into this moment of now. So stretch, wiggle your fingers, scrunch your toes up, and just come back fully in your body so that you're aware of where you're at in this moment of now. With gratitude and love. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I never know where it's really going to go, but we just wanted to keep it because sometimes they'll take me on a journey. And I said they had to keep it in the 10-minute frame. And they're like, really? Can't we go an hour? And I'm like, no, we can't go an hour. None of that stuff tonight.
So was it like you were channeling the meditation?
What I do is I close my eyes and I see them. It's like, because I sat with this, when you gave me permission to come on, I sat with it and it's like, what are we going to do? And they said, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go into this clearing here and the owl and the wolf are going to come in. So just listen to what they're saying and share that information with them.
Wow. All right. Well, maybe we didn't get to really talk about your all your experiences, but maybe you can come back next week and tell us one of your experiences.
Sure, I can do that. It's like I'm in Eastern time, so it's like and I'm sometimes I feel a little bit past my bedtime at this time of night.
8:30 is pretty late for you?
Well, I am, to believe it or not, I'm 65.
Oh,
So
wow, you look amazing.
yeah. So it's like I'm not my spring chicken anymore as far as that goes. I used to be a night owl and that wolf, but now it's like I do meditations through the day and stuff like that, but I really wanted to do this, but I would love to like be on your podcast as an interview or come back and talk more about my experiences, whatever works for
All
you.
right, well,
Next Saturday,
mhm.
I'm not going to be able to next Saturday because I'm actually going to a sound meditation under the stars. So I
How
don't,
fun.
I can't, so I can't commit. So I'm glad I just remembered that because I wouldn't want to commit and then not be able to make it for
That's
you.
okay. Well, my email is in the description, so email me and we can talk about more like what we talk about. And by the way, I think the chat wants to know where you are from.
Okay, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and 9 years ago I moved to Florida. Do you want to know how I got to Florida, everybody? Should I tell you? When I was up in Pennsylvania, I worked corporate. I was a database programmer, and on my weekends I would do energy work and I wore my Batman tights. So 2 years prior to 9 years, so 11 years ago, Spirit came to me and said, we want you to quit your job, sell your house, and wear your Batman tights all the time. And that's about what the wolf was saying, is to trust and follow that. And the owl was saying that. So I didn't know where I was supposed to go. Where am I supposed to go? So I took a map of the US and folded into quarters and I used a pendulum and I ruled out the northern part, got the southern part, went through all the states, got 9 states, asking different questions. What would be most fun for me? What would be this? What would be that? And I got down to 2 states, Florida and New Mexico. And I knew one person in Florida. And this is not a plug, but I like Aldi's, and New Mexico didn't have any Aldi's. So I chose Florida.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And it's worked out well for you?
Yeah, I actually got the company that I was working for ended up offering me a consult job. So because I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
how I was going to take care of myself. I got healthier. I got to explore my art. I got to really grow my relationship with source and connect and to be able to share that and teach and do more sessions and and I got to co-host 2 different radio shows. And so it was just like, wow, all this magic is always happening. And because I trusted it, I trusted that source would do it. And I've always been a truster because I said it because it took 2 years to sell my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why is it taking so long? And they said, Julia, because we tell you it's going to rain in April, we tell you it's going to rain or snow in November, and you've already got your galoshes on and your umbrella up. Because it's like when they tell me to go, I just go and I'm ready. I'm like ready. So it's like I've learned patience
Mm-hmm.
because they have no really concept of how time works here sometimes in the 3D.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. Well, Julia, thank you so much for coming and leading the meditation for us. I
And
really
I will
appreciate you.
reach out and I want to
Reach
thank
out to me. Yeah.
and can I plug my YouTube channel real
Yes, of
quick?
course. What's your YouTube channel?
Julia Stubbe, the Galactic Channel, and I actually do a live intuitive healing session the 12th of each month. So I would
Mhm.
love if you could join that. And there's easy to follow processes for healing and guided meditation, and there's some light language out there. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. So I'd love to have you just come and check me out. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And I know you won't be able to hear this until later, but here is, I always try to do this after every guest. So when you go back and listen, you're going to hear a big round of applause. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Julia. Next up is Ray Blackfeather. Now, Ray visited us last week, and I believe he was talking about UFOs. So let's see what he has for us today. And he's almost here. Let me see. Let me help him.
Yes.
You're almost here, Ray.
Yeah, I hear you. Wow.
I hear you. I just don't see you.
Stop my video.
There you are.
Wow. Okay.
You made it. All right, Ray. Thanks for joining us. What do you have to share with us tonight?
This is gonna be an interesting one. This is all about my roommate.
Your roommate, okay.
And this is gonna be a very interesting story. So when I was hey, good meditation. All right. So anyway, the story. Oh yes, yes. Uh
Did you forget your story?
oh yeah, there you are. Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. I got something else that's going on here. Oh, okay. You see me?
Yeah, we see you. You're here. Everything's perfect on my end.
All right. I gotta pause this
You
part.
probably like clicked on another window and you can't see yourself.
Yeah, that's
but
what's happening. There we go.
We see you
Gotcha.
perfectly.
Yep, gotcha.
Hmm?
Full screen. Awesome. Hello, folks. Good evening. Good evening. So anyway, this story is about my roommate been abducted by aliens. And what's this is really interesting. At first, I didn't believe that. Let's start off with the story. I He moved in for months, no problem, no problem. Then couple of years later, we became really close friends. So that one night in his room, I heard a child screaming, like a 5-year-old child, between 5 to 10-year-old, like in a dire need or in distress. So I was like, in my room, was woke up, what the wow, what's going on there? Pulled out my 9mm, snuck out, went in,
Wow.
and I bashed open the door of my bedroom, my roommate's bedroom, turned on the lights and looked around. He jumped. He really like jumped right up, but there was nobody on his bed and nothing like that.
Mhm.
So his sheets were flying, fell off and everything. I like, what the hell was that? I heard a child crying. And he's like, oh, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I said, yo, man, I heard a child crying. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. It was late night, of course, around like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Went back to sleep. A couple of months later, happened again. I'm like, what is that? What the hell's going on? I woke him up again. I said, hey, do you remember that you were dreaming or anything like that? He said, no, 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 nothing about it. Like, this is really interesting. And finally, one night, I said, I'm going to sneak up to him if this happens again. What do you know? It happened again. This time I snuck into his room and whispered to him. I said, what do you see? Can you tell me what you see? Bad man, no, help, no, please, please, bad man. I like, okay, where is the bad man? And I kept on saying, I don't want to be here, please. I said, where is the bad man? I will get him. The window, window. And then all of a sudden he'll wake up and stares at me like, fuck you look, excuse me.
Sorry.
In that language, what you looking at? And I like, whoa. So I literally backed off. I like, whoa. He said, what are you trying to do? We're joking about, oh, you're trying to kiss me at night or whatnot and all that. I'm like, no, 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 none of that. But this is about your dream. Then finally, we really got really close together, and we decided to travel around the United States. Thanks to him, I travel most of the United States, everywhere from end to end, Alaska all the way down to the Keys, the Florida Keys. So anyway, this time we were at where were we? We're on a trip. I believe we're in at Colorado, Denver, Colorado. That again started off with that thing again about sleep. This whole sleep issue with the kid crying. Like, this is really freaky. So to this day, I don't know what he doesn't remember what exactly happened. We went all these trips, and he would get in these terror dreams. We even got to Area 51. It was his idea.
Hmm.
We're in Vegas. We're like, yeah, let's go Area 51. Let's go hang out. We went way out there. He bought me a bunch of trinkets. We saw this dead alien. We were laughing about it. Why don't we bring this over to throw a party? It would be nice in the living room. Right? Jokingly, this whole thing was a joke to us. Literally, before this whole thing happened to me. So this time, a few years later, this time he was saying about how about visit my parents? I'm like, where do they live? Oh, Holland, Michigan. If anybody knows where that is, Holland, Michigan. So I said, sure, of course. We flew up there, met his parents, and I remember, I said, oh yeah, tell my mom about the UFO encounter. I'm like, what? Are you serious? No, come on, you're joking. So no, seriously, right? Ask her, ask her, ask her. I'm like, all right, fine. So we're having dinner together as a group. I said, oh, by the way, mom, I call her mom anyway. So I said, I heard you saw UFOs. She's like, oh, no one. People. I don't want to talk about it. People think I'm a kook. I'm like, no, I'm really fascinated. I want to hear it. And she told me the story. What happened is late night, something woke her up. So she stuck her head out the window the bedroom window faces the backyard. It's the same house they've been living on. So I was in the backyard, checked it out. It was really wild. She said the two orbs, the two white orbs, they were about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. One of them with a solid light to it, has an edge. The other one was very fuzzy. So it was like a blur to her, she said. And they were both behind her fields. I put two and two together, like, oh, there it goes. Turns out that he still, to this day, he doesn't believe that he's been abducted. His mom is dead, passed away, and all that stuff. So to me, that's one of my sleep apnea stories that one of my friend gets.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Is he the voice of the child? It's coming from him?
From him, that's correct.
But it sounds like a little
kid, little boy.
Like as if he's possessed or something? It doesn't even sound like his voice?
Exactly.
Wow, that's freaky.
Yes, very freaky. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been all over the world.
And he considers that as he's having a night terror when that's
no,
happening?
He doesn't remember.
He doesn't even
He does not remember.
He's completely not conscious of it.
Right.
Wow,
I would love to hypnotize him to figure out what this is.
Maybe you should take some classes.
Take some classes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, Ray, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We really appreciate you. Don't be a stranger. Come back and visit us.
Yes.
Bye, bud. You have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Take care, folks.
And a big round of applause for Ray. All right, next up is Bobby. And let's see what Bobby's up to. Oh, she was there. Now she's back. Hey, Bobby.
Hello.
How's it going?
I have my classroom background on.
It looks really cool. That's awesome. That's great.
It's a spaceship, right?
It's something, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have that nice, beautiful window that everything looks normal out through that way.
Yeah, no, I forgot to take it off. Whoops.
No, it's okay. It looks great. So good morning to you over there.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning to you. What do you have to share with us today?
Okay, so I really thought I'd come on and share a story that happened to me because I really think this is relevant for humanity's potential, and that's what I'm all about, is driving us towards our potential, and that's about telepathy and the story that happened to me.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, sorry, my dog is annoying everybody.
That's okay. She can be with us, or he can be with us. We like dogs.
So I've started from the beginning. I was getting a lot of visions where I can see, I actually get a lot of visitations and stuff like that. And it was so much that I decided to put out that I wanted to take the reins to my own reality and what I was receiving. And I ended up asking also to meet someone of high integrity that I could trust. And it was like through these circumstances that happened that I ended up in Byron Bay with a Cherokee elder. And she was doing a talk, and there was about 60 or so people there. And she pulled me out of a crowd, and she did this thing on my mind where she changed my neuron paths to rebalance me again. And I felt very still and peaceful again. I had felt that feeling before through work that I had done, and it at least got my attention. So I went back to a year later, and she pulled me out of another crowd. And I'm like, okay. She said, I will be working with you. So she was working with me on and off for a few years. I'd go to Ohio sometimes. She would come here and do some talks. And there was one moment when we were in Melbourne in Australia, and we were in a theatre, in a university theatre, and it was like, you know, how they had the seats all going back. Mm-hmm. And she said to me, Bobby, come and sit next to me. So I thought, yeah, that's planned. Okay, what's happening? Because she wouldn't normally do that. And she was going to give a talk on a remote viewing movie, and people were like just going to give her questions at the end of this movie that she hadn't seen before. So she sits next to me and she holds my hand and she starts breathing quite deeply. And then I thought she had fallen asleep, but she'd actually linked minds with me. And we were telepathically communicating through this movie on and off. and it was for about an hour, and she was asking me my life story. And when I got to bits that were a bit icky, she'd squeeze my hand as if you say, I see that, or I feel that. And I was thinking in my logical brains, like having a bit of a brain fart, to tell you the truth. And I'm going, is this for real? Is this for real? So I decided to ask her to follow me back to USA, which she wouldn't normally do something like that. And she actually said telepathically to me, why would I do that? And I said, this is my confirmation so that I can feel this is for real, right? So she unlinks hands, the movie finishes, and she goes and does her talk, and everything that we were watching the movie of was the questions that were asked that she could actually answer. And then straight after that, she came up to me and she called her husband over and said, Tony, we want Bobby to follow us back to USA. And he's like, huh? Wouldn't be something she'd normally go. And my jaw dropped because I'm like, shit, this is real. And then she came up to me and whispered in my ear and she said, it's magical, isn't it? And I'm like, far out. Okay, so this is our potential. And this is where I'm taking people to now, because I decided this is what if we actually gain this insight back, it is actually something that we had many, many years ago through the Atlantis Lemuria age. If we gained it back, we wouldn't have any deception. We wouldn't have someone controlling us anymore. It opens us up to compassion and understanding each other on a higher level of awareness. And so it's really important. That's why I wanted to bring that story forward.
Well, thank you for sharing that. First, I want to go back to the beginning. You said she was a Cherokee something? A Cherokee
elder.
Elder,
Yeah.
but you're in Australia, right?
No, yeah, well, she lives in America, and she'd go all over the world, and she was sent by her elders to go find what she called the Buffalo Hearts, which was souls straight from Pleiades, and from a higher dimension or higher frequency in Pleiades. And so she went around the world seeking these people, and I was one that she sought after. So, yeah.
What's so fascinating to think about is that pretty much every NDE, I guess really every NDE experiencer, when they communicate with beings on the other side, is telepathic. And I think some of my other guests would, talk about telepathy. And recent guest of mine was saying that really telepathy it's how everybody in the galaxy speaks, except
That's
here.
Right.
And I don't know if it's
actually...
I don't know if it's either we lost the ability, some people will say they took that ability away from us, and some of them will probably, in other opinions, would be that we just forget about the ability, or we just don't have it on Earth. What do you think?
It's a universal language, and it's because then we're all connected, understand from our soul's perspective that we are connected. As soon as you can connect to your soul, you are telepathic, because that's how the soul connects to you. But we have been shut down from that right side of the brain, and we're only using our left logical part of our brain now to be able to perceive our reality, which means we're looking outside ourselves for guidance instead of taking back the right hemisphere, which is connected to our soul and telepathically connected to our soul. And that would guide us normally through life. That means that opened the vortex to other beings coming in saying that they were the gods and that we should trust them, but they're coming from their lack, right? And that they're just trying to over control people because of their own lack. So this was a journey that humanity's consciousness needed to go on to have a fuller understanding of how to handle the material world. But now we're coming back into understanding that we need to link back to our soul to be able to take the reins. Otherwise, those that are controlling us through their own lack are only going to lead us to more and more disharmony, and it's not going to be very pleasant. So humanity called out for help, and that's why some of us have been born here now with at least the ability to channel. And telepathy is just another word for channeling, any case. Telepathy was the word that science said. Channeling was a spiritual word for communication through thought.
I like that. That's a good way to put that. It's interesting. No one's ever voiced it in that way, that channeling is basically telepathic communication. I guess from them to you. I don't know if they're doing it from them to your consciousness here, or are they going from them to your higher self and your higher self to your lower self here?
It's like when you connect back to your soul and have a full awareness of that, which is just oneness or love going on a journey. It is the whole of oneness. Your soul is part of that. And so when you connect back to that, you connect to all of the past lives that you had with all different souls. So you can have communication coming in from, or wisdom coming in from past lives. You step into way more power of who you are. It doesn't have to be taught to you from an outside perspective. You just have this inner awareness and knowing of all this information that files through. So channeling can be from what people would say was their higher self. To me, it's the soul, or from other beings that have a soul in alignment with yours, and then you can connect with them because you know their frequency. Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I've been told.
Ben from the chat wants to know, how do you turn off telepathy?
If you are like feeling into everybody all at once, and discernment and to know thyself. To know thyself means to take the reins back to who you are and say, this is what I decide if that comes into my reality or not. And discernment is part of that. So that's what they're telling me now. So it's more or less taking control of your own reality, having the reins to your reality, whether that's telepathic or not. We don't realize that we've given away our power. And if all of a sudden you open that vortex up and you're still in alignment with giving away your power, you end up in a bit of strife.
Well, Bobby, thank you for coming and sharing that story with us. We really appreciate you. What is your YouTube channel?
It's Bobby the Messenger on YouTube. Yeah.
All right. So if you guys feel up to it, go check out Bobby's channel.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Bobby, for coming and sharing with us. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And have a great rest of your Sunday.
I will.
All right. Take care. Cheers. And a big round of applause for Bobby. All right, let's bring in... Oh, before I get to that, I want to say a big thank you to Layla McGann. Thank you so much, Layla. We really appreciate that. And it says, you guys are the best podcast ever. I love all the bright beings here. And I think XOXO is hugs and kisses. So a thank you again, Layla. All right, let's bring in Tony. And before I bring in Tony, I want to say that if you want to join us, all you have to do is go to Zoom, and then you click join a meeting, and then all you have to do is enter the data, which is down below, and that is the room ID, or I think what they call it, room ID or whatever, but that is there, so you just key that in, and then it'll ask you for the passcode, and that's there too, and then you'll be in line like Tony is here. So feel free to join, and we'll be here. And next up is Tony. I hear you, Tony.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Just here, hanging with you, and about 200 other people. 265
awesome. Okay.
vendors. All right, welcome. You've been here before, right?
Yes, I was here last week. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm pausing the playback on my TV this way.
That's okay. I thought I recognized you.
Cool. There we go.
So are you in New York? You're in, what, Staten Island?
I'm in New York. I'm in New York City. I'm in Staten Island.
Yes. Okay, I remember. All right. What do you have to share with us tonight?
I wanted to talk about OBEs, out-of-body experiences.
Have you had them?
Honestly, I have.
Oh, wow. All right. Is that from a dream state, from meditation, or what?
So I was only able to induce it cognizantly or consciously twice.
So
But
were you like in a meditative state, even though you were conscious, or what did you do?
I was trying to have, this is just one of the times I was doing a OBE meditation, and I was trying to astral project. And this, I got to say, this is what really broke the barrier of the fear of death thing for me. Once, when I was out of my body, experiencing, it sounds crazy, but I know we can say these things on this channel without feeling judged or crazy. I flew to Orion, flew to the moon, flew everywhere you could think of, did the most fun, amazing, crazy things. But this is also what really checked me. When I got back into my body, I woke up, it was about 7 a.m. I was exhausted. I mean, that's what, for me, made me understand this wasn't a dream. This was nothing fake. No, this, you did it. You astral projected. You flew it. You did. And that, to me, once I saw my body, that proved to me that now you don't need the body to be alive. Because if I'm outside the body and I'm alive, that tells you that life will exist after death, whether you're alive, astral projecting. So that really helped me. And I think I wanted to share that experience for that reason, because I know a lot of people do have that fear of death. And it's, I used to get crazy anxiety attacks. So I know what that's like. And, it's difficult to deal with.
My guest, Darius Wright, who I believe said this, basically said the same thing, that astral traveling, you do come back tired. So it's nice to hear a confirmation on that.
It's funny. I think I remember that exact guest. Was he like a young man in his maybe late 20s, 30s?
Something like that, yeah.
I think I went on his website afterwards. He was really interesting, and he talked mostly about OBEs and astral travel.
Right.
That
He does.
right?
Yeah, he did it. He does it from what do they call that? Sleep paralysis. That's how he gets out. But I also wanted to know, what meditation, you said you were doing a meditation. Was it something from YouTube, or what exact meditation were you doing?
So 2 things I want to jump on there before I forget. The sleep paralysis thing. I didn't know. I used to get sleep paralysis. I didn't know what it was. This is just a tip I've learned. I was taught that if you wake up in sleep paralysis, you can very easily have your consciousness connect, and you'll be astral traveling, because that's what basically sleep paralysis is. Your body woke up, but your consciousness is still doing whatever it's doing. And then I'm sorry, the second you said the second part of that.
I was wondering which meditation exactly were you doing?
Yes. So I've been using meditations I have a subscription to Gaia, and I really like that app. I really like their content, but I'm not crazy about their meditations, to be honest. I tried it with YouTube, different ones on YouTube, and I found ones that really helped. That night, I'll be honest, I don't remember which one specifically I was listening to. I believe it was one from YouTube, but I recently joined Mind Valley. And I have to say, the quality of just the way they go through it and teach you how to have an OBE in steps, and they take it slow, and they really go deep, and they break it down so that you can actually learn to do it. And then the goal is at the end to be able to, at will, go out of your body at will.
So are you able to do it again using Mind Valley's program?
No, not yet. I've been, trying and working with it, but I haven't induced one again yet. It's really difficult. It only happened twice in my life. Have you ever had one?
I have not. I wish I had. I would be like, to me, once you have one, that's got to be that. Once you have one and turn back and look at your body and see it laying there, then that's the ultimate confirmation.
I have to say, I was really pissed, because honestly, on the way out, I didn't stop and look at my body. I was so excited that I just took off. I think I flew around my room a little bit, and then I was out. But on the way in, I did look at my body as I came back into it. It was weird. And for me, oh, by the way, for me, because I think these things can help other people, these little tips. For me to get out of my body, one, I learned this from Mind Valley. Stop calling it getting out of your body. Think of it, I forgot how they described it, but think of it as just awakening a subtle part of you that you're really not that aware of. So, okay, mentally for me, that helps because I'm more of an analytic guy. Like numbers really work for me. So that helped. And the tip I'll give is I've never heard this done. I've never heard it thrown out there as a tip. I felt like someone, picture yourself laying flat on the bed. Someone, your eyes are shut. Someone walks up to the foot of the bed, grabs both your ankles, and yanks you out of your body. That's how I got out. It was so weird, but it felt so natural.
Did you see any beings?
Oh yeah, a lot. It's crazy, and then they say like when you pass away, your ancestors will come to you, your parents, people that you love that have passed, and it's like when you astral project, it's like the same. It's almost like all that's happening is the veil is lifted. It's almost like you get a new eyelash or your eyelash is taken off and now you can see what you couldn't see before. It may just be right in front of you. A loved one, my grandfather who passed away that I adored, may be sitting right in front of me. I just can't see him. But when you astral project, you see all these things that have to be there anyway, right? If we're just not conscious of them.
Wow. There was something else I was going to ask you about your astral projections.
Talk to me, Jeff. I'm an open book.
Well, do you have any other afterwards? Do you feel like you got any new abilities that you didn't have before? Did it turn on anything new for you? Clairaudience, clairvoyance, anything?
Yeah, I think I always, like I was saying last time, I'm definitely sensitive to energy, maybe a little bit clairaudient, not really clairvoyant. And I heard someone mention this on another channel, but the same thing happened to me. And it's going to sound really weird. She referred to it as it's your Kundalini rising. Now I've heard that term and I know a little bit about that, but not much. But it happened I remember exactly, it was 3/23/2023. I was laying right here where I'm laying, watching something, and it was almost like I could feel this ball of energy come from like my I guess waist area, and it was so strong you could feel it going up my stomach, up my chest. And it was so strong that if you were looking at my shirt, you would see something bounce. It looked like there was something inside my shirt. And I was giggling. It was like euphoric. It was very, very weird. And I know that date, there's synchronicity just in that date. And I had this experience and it was so, I don't really understand it fully, but she helped me understand it a little bit. And it was something I've never experienced it before. I haven't experienced it since, but I think it was what some people call like an STE, spiritually transformative event.
Right.
Because after that, I felt like I was having another sort of spiritual awakening.
Do you feel that when is it really you're leaving your body, or is it maybe your consciousness is tuning into a different frequency? Like as if you turn the radio dial.
You know what?
It's changing a channel.
I like the way you put that, and I think more what it is.
It's more just changing frequencies than. But then I don't know all the answers, but the only thing is, you did come back and see your body, so it makes, I don't know, is it really you're leaving your body, or do you think it's more you're projecting your consciousness out to the cosmos or wherever you go?
It's funny you said that, because when I started and I was trying with Gaia, I was taught by them, on the Gaia, they said that you have some people who have difficulty projecting have to sort of sit up You could sit up or you could do it laying down, but think of it just as you described it, as projecting your consciousness. Because like I was explaining in the beginning, the out of body thing and, you know, stepping out of your body, it sounds weird. And in your mind, it just, for me, it makes for a very difficult transition, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I answer your question? I forgot
You did.
what the
Yeah,
exact,
I think so. I think you
okay.
did. Yeah.
What the exact question was. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Tony, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. Feel free to stop by anytime. And if you have another one, definitely come back and visit us.
Absolutely. And I want you to know, I watched the interview from Monday with Dr. Courtney
Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
that was
very
a
interesting.
it was a controversial. I mean, that got like that got like 3 or 4 times the amount of comments that I normally get. And if you look, it's either people loved it or didn't. It was very controversial.
Yeah. I'll be honest. And now I see. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right. Go ahead.
You did that interview the day we spoke, right? Or last Saturday, or the day before we spoke, right?
I think so.
No, but it's just funny because I was coming in with some statements and I was saying some things and sharing some beliefs. And I remember you were like, you know, you were trying to basically toe the line between like not taking a side, but not making me feel shunned. But, you know, so now after seeing the interview, I understand a bit more. I still don't agree with him, but it was very interesting. I learned a lot from him. And I think a lot of things he said are true. And I guess I'll end with this. I know you have, you know, someone waiting. I do think that they're going to try the elites, you know, whoever are going to try and pull a false flag attack. And I think that's going to be their final card. And it's going to be a false alien attack. It's going to be done with holographics in the sky, but they are going to inflict damage in major cities using the technology that they've had for the last 70 years.
Did you see the one I did a few days before that with Augie?
I don't think I saw Augie.
Augie Nost, we exactly talked about the false flag.
Did you?
Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 days before I posted that. It was last week sometime. So
that's fun.
You're time traveling here because we talked exactly about that.
Did he mention, like, did he refer to it in the manner I referred?
Exact the same, pretty much.
That's funny because I didn't get that from him. I got that from
not Courtney. Not Courtney. A couple guests before him, Augie. Yeah. No, I'm not saying you got it from him.
I know what you meant. No, you're good. I was just saying I also learned about that idea from Werner von Braun's. I think it was his assistant or his someone who was very close to him that became like a family to him. I forgot her name, but she was the one who said that Werner von Braun told her this on his deathbed as he was dying, the week or two as he was dying, and he told her he was a part of it and he knows about it and that it's going to happen and that's going to be the final card. Once they play that card, everything changes and it's going to be up to us to accept those changes, where we're going to have literally transhumanism and be chipped, or we're going to go in the direction of spirituality, harmony, and just being kind to each other. You know, it's really not that hard.
Yeah. Well, brother, thank you again, man, for coming and hanging with us. We appreciate you, and don't be a stranger. Take care.
Jeff, I love coming on. Regards to you and Mara. Have a great night.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause here for Tony. And before I bring on the next guest, I'm going to tell you guys about tomorrow night's guest. And I guess this is good enough time as any. So I had the guest that I'm going to be posting tomorrow was on previously about 6 months-ish ago, and he had an ENDE in 2021. And when he came on, he was still processing it. And I will say a big thanks to all you, and he talks about it in the video, that after being on the podcast and sharing his experience, your comments helped him. And he went through and he talks about how he read all the comments, and so it's pretty cool. It's kind of like one of the first ones that I've done that's a follow-up to his NDE. So that helped him, and then he went went to an ayahuasca retreat and then worked on it himself some more. So I think that once you guys see it, I think the people who do comment will, you don't realize that you as a commenter may be helping people too, just like this guest has or did. All right, let's bring on Zach. And Zach's almost here. So while we're waiting for Zach, let me tell you. So that's tomorrow. Oh, well, he's here. I was going to give you the schedule, but we're good. Zach. Is this Zach in Australia? Oh, wait, we don't have voice yet. He's connecting to audio. Zach, are you here?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I am. It's really dark.
Sorry about that. I was going to say, is this Zach in Australia?
It is. That's the Zach that
All
this
right,
is.
welcome back. Nice to see you again, Zach. Yeah, you're in the dark today. What's up with that?
Yeah, I
And
mean, you said it's nice to see me, but you can actually barely see me.
Yeah, but I still recognized you. But it's, what is it? 11 o'clock over there. It's late. It's late morning already.
It is. Yeah.
You should be up.
The reason I'm in the dark like this is because I'm very vain. And I was drinking whiskey last night, and I don't want anyone to see me.
Okay, well, that works. If that works
Well,
for you, it works for
I don't
me.
mind them seeing me, in these shadows. That's fine.
Well, you don't look like you're hungover or anything, from what I can tell.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because the previous guest was also like in a bedroom lying on the bed. It's just, I just find it so amazing. Like, 20 years ago, I never thought I'd watch a show and everyone's just talking to each other from their homes. It's extraordinary. Anyhow.
Well, let me just comment on top of that is that the majority of the people who watch my channel watch it at night, either right before they go to bed or they fall asleep to it. You watch it and it helps them sleep.
Well, if I did that, I'd have to sleep during the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just one. Yeah. I guess. I mean, not the live stream, but just in general. You know what I mean?
I get that.
So I don't know why it is. I should change this to the bedtime UFO indie paranormal bedtime stories.
I think it's because of you, because you've got such a lovely energy about you, and you're so relaxing. It's just lovely to have you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really nice to just listen.
Just to listen, and maybe I calm you down for the night before you go to sleep.
Yes, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So are you still, you had some sort of condition we've talked about. Are you still having that, or did you conquer that? Are you free from that yet?
Well, I mean, no, yeah, I do have this. I've got a weird condition. I've had all sorts of things, but the latest one is my teeth are numb.
Wow.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But also when I meditate, and also when I focus on certain like innate truths, I can have like a strange like jerking energy that sort of surges through my body, and it goes like, and that's still happening also to me.
I was thinking that if you drink enough whiskey, your teeth will go numb too, right?
Yeah, maybe that's my problem.
Maybe.
I don't normally drink so much whiskey, but I did really drink quite a lot last night. So yeah.
Well, do you have any new stories to share with us?
Yes, I've got one piece of information that I'd like to talk about, and that is that I think you can call these things auditory hallucinations. I think that's what you can call them, or something like maybe it's called clairaudience. Like I'm not really sure, but the most amazing one that I've ever had was I woke up in the morning and I have these really vivid dreams where I'm really in a realm or a world where I can see just as well as this world here, this realm, and I can touch things and I can even taste things, and everything's, you know, you can like knock on hard surfaces and water is wet. It's astonishing, but you know, I have an awareness that it's a dream realm. And I also have incredible auditory experiences. For example, I was once in a dream and I realized, oh, this is a dream, but I could hear absolutely perfectly Holst's, you know, the classical composer Holst's Mercury. You know, he's got a suite called The Planets, and Holst's Mercury, which is so incredibly complex. I could hear Holst's Mercury absolutely perfectly playing. I was like floating in a garden and there was a feather inside a flower and I was looking at it really closely. And then I realized, hang on a minute, I'm floating. Oh, this is a dream. And I thought, how can that be possible? Because I can hear exactly Holst's Mercury. I mean, I do listen to that song very often, but I was thinking, how on earth is my consciousness absolutely perfectly recreating this song? Like, it was just like it was like on the radio. It was just so exact. And what I would like to talk about in relation to those auditory hallucinations is that I was in Sydney, actually, because normally I'm in Brisbane, but I was in Sydney, and I was having a lot of really spiritual, transformative experiences. It was a 2-week period in Sydney, and I just had the most incredible experiences that really changed me as a soul, as a spirit, you know. And I woke up and I was in this like half awake, half sleep-like state, and I heard perfectly an entire sentence. And the sentence was, it's a really weird sentence, but it's amazing. It was, you can't drive the physical mind, but you can drive the consciousness. And I heard that sentence absolutely perfectly clearly, like it was transmitted into my brain. You can't drive the physical mind, but you can drive the consciousness. And then I ended up going to a really interesting artist in Sydney and getting him to make me some clothing with that painted on it, that phrase painted on it. And I just find that incredible. Anyway, so this morning another one happened. There's a Finnish word which is kippis, and it means cheers. When you have an alcoholic drink, you know, you say cheers. And in Finland they say kippis. And I was told in this morning's auditory hallucination, the etymology of kippis is actually from Jesus. And there are all kinds of theories about where that word comes from, kippis. People say, oh, it's from kippata, which means to tipple something down the hatch. Or people say, oh no, it's English, it's keep peace, because there was fighting in a pub and people said kippis, and the Finnish people heard the English and just put it into their language. But I was told in this auditory hallucination this very morning that kippis comes from Jesus, which I've no idea how that would work, but that's what I was told. And
Do you,
yeah,
you know, I was speaking just earlier tonight with Bobby about channeling is just telepathic communication. So do you think somebody is communicating with you telepathically?
Ooh, my goodness, yeah, like perhaps they
Do
are.
you hear this in someone else's voice, or do you hear it in your own voice, as you know, like in your own thoughts?
No, it doesn't. It's not my voice. No, it's just like, you know, you might imagine you turned on the radio and you would hear, you can't drive the physical mind, but you can drive the consciousness. That's what it sounds like. It just sounds like somebody saying that, like a native speaker of English saying that.
So is that, so what do you think? Do you think it's possible somebody's
Yeah, I
communicating
mean,
with you, or do you
yeah,
think you're
I suppose,
downloading information?
yeah, I suppose I'm really reluctant to admit that that could be true because I'm so terrified of that kind of thing. Oh
I
goodness!
apologize for putting you in that corner.
Well, no, it's fine. But I just think, oh goodness, like what if it's a demon? That's what I was being saying to me. So, like things, yeah. So I'm a bit terrified of that, but I think ultimately the universe is friendly. So yeah, I don't think I have too much to worry about. But I definitely have a real fear in me of I don't know, some strange entity getting me or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean that I feel like that fear is valid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeff, may I say one final thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You may.
Well, thank you. Well, the thing that I want to say is that you know, I think I've said this before, like I really, really love you, absolutely loads. I just think you're such an amazing personality. I really do. And I think I've said that before. What I want to add to that is what I want to add
What
to
do you want
that
me to start?
is
You're gonna you give me too many compliments. You're gonna make me turn red here.
yeah. Oh, red's quite a nice color. That's not so bad. So yeah, what I want to add to that is that I really feel really jealous of you. So I just feel so, yeah, I'm so jealous of you. And the reason I'm jealous of you, I think I've come to the conclusion that you're such an incredible listener. I just find it astonishing how good you are at listening. And I am absolutely awful at it. I just get the thing, oh, nobody's interesting enough for me. Like I know that's horrible. But that's what goes through my ego, if that's what you call it. Think, oh, you should let me speak. I'm so much more interesting than you. Isn't that awful? But that's what happens to me. But with you, you're so genuinely interested in other people. I mean, it's really clear that it's so sincere. And I'm so jealous of that. I think, oh, I wish I could do that. Why can he do it?
I just think I've come to the realization after talking to enough people that everybody's story is just as interesting as mine.
Yeah, I know. I'm so jealous of you that you've had that realization. But you know, you can be my inspiration, can't you? And eventually, you know, if I just watch you enough, I'll become like you.
Just listen, right?
That's all you have to do. Listen.
All you have to do. There's one other thing that I learned a long time ago, probably not, gosh, I don't know, in college, in my teens or early 20s, the book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, very famous book.
Yes, I know that title.
Yeah, and anyways, he says in there, it is better to be interested in people than trying to be interesting to them.
Yes, yeah. That's so true. That's so true. I just have this like real strong tendency for the opposite. But it's good that I had the awareness, because I suppose it would be dreadful to have that trait and then just not be aware of it. So it's good that I have an awareness of this bad characteristic, because then I can be mindful of it, you know?
Well, on that note, I appreciate you, Zach, for coming in. It's been a while, but don't be a stranger. It's good to catch up with you. And, you know, your day is just starting over there, so I wish you a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
All right, take care. And a big... Where is it? Oh, he's already gone. I was going to say a big round of applause to him. And, all right, so next up is Merlin. Let's see if what's up with Merlin tonight? Oh, and I need to say thank you. A big thank you. Merlin, give me 1 second here, Merlin. I needed to say thank you, and I forgot about that. To Top Notch. There it is. Top Notch. Thank you so much for that super thanks. And we really appreciate it. It says, I hear OBEs during my nap time. Very effective. Oh, he hears them? Or you have them? Maybe you... I'm not quite clear if you're saying hear or have, but Maybe you can follow up with that, or come on and tell us about it. All right, Merlin, what's been going on? You're back in your car today.
Yeah, I like doing it here. It's like insulated. It's more quiet, you know.
Yeah, you
Right.
come in nice and clear.
Exactly. It cancels out the outside noise.
Do you have oh no, that's your rear view mirror. I thought that was a hole in your roof, like you had a moon roof.
No. This is a
'Cause I
brand
see
new truck.
there's a little dark spot right there to the right up to from my vision, the upper left of your head, but the dark spot is from the shadow of the rear view mirror. And
Yeah,
that's gonna
yeah.
be
Because
cool.
yeah, this is 2022.
Because
So if there's something like that, you know, you're gonna get a warranty, right?
that would be perfect. I mean, what a better
Yeah.
place to be hanging out in your car. You mean even if you could just pull it, like on mine, I have a moon roof, but first I slide the thing back and then the glass is there and then I can open up the glass. So if you don't want to let
Well, that's
bugs
old
in,
school.
yeah,
Like sunroof.
yeah, like a sunroof. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to let the bugs in, you can just slide it back and look out the glass. Maybe you'll see a UFO.
It's possible. Very
It's
possible.
possible. So you've been sending me some UFO stuff lately.
Oh yeah.
What
Yes.
what do you got any new UFO news for us, or what are your thoughts?
Any new? I wouldn't say new, but if you've been keeping up with like Jeremy Corbell
Mhm.
and and just following what kind of videos he's putting out. The last video was on a military base, right? And people always say, "Oh, it's flares." Look, trust me, flares don't hang in the sky that long. They come down when you shoot it. They don't just hover for 10 minutes.
Right.
And so this happened on a military base, and 50 Marines saw it, and they got it. It's like triangular, like shape, and
Yeah, I
so
think
they said it hovered there.
right. That's one of them that you sent me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the most recent ones
Mhm.
that's just it's getting released, and thanks to him. But whoever is behind all this, look, they done muddy the waters. Nobody's going to believe anything. If the government says there are aliens, no, they're not. Oh, you're hot. No, they're not. You're just trying to like do Project Bluebeam and try to fake alien invasion. So it doesn't matter now because they lie so much, right? And so people just don't want to listen to them. But independent journalists and Jeremy Corbell, people like him, they're independent, right? So they give you real news about what's going on, because a lot of these sightings you don't see it in the mainstream so much. So there's people like him that pushes it out there and puts pressure on people in high positions and stuff to just come clean over it. And so they're claiming that there's a mothership possibly out there or whatever. They're just preparing us for the possibility, is what I think the Pentagon said. So who knows at this point,
Did you see the one I did with Augie Nost? About a week ago
Not
or so?
yet.
No,
A week ago?
Yeah, because I was just talking with
Oh yeah. He's like the scientist, the physicist, right?
I don't know if no, not the physicist. He's a pilot.
Okay.
And something else, but we were exactly talking about the mothership and Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. But we can go either way, because there's also a video in Italy of the Pope standing, but when he turned around, he just faded into nothing, like it was a hologram. How they did Tupac, they brought him back supposedly, and that's what they're so they have like holographic technology. Because I'm wondering, like, if they are going to do Project Bluebeam, you would want to have like what Elon Musk has in orbiting us, right? Starlink, because that can I don't know, like beam images in the sky to see people. Who knows? I mean, it's all a possibility at this point. But what is true though that we can be certain about is the government is lying. Right? Everyone knows that. So who knows?
Do you know who Billy Carson is?
Yeah. He appears on Lake Project sometimes.
One of the fascinating things he said, and I was surprised about it, is that I thought it was only about 30 years ahead of us, but he says that whatever technology we have, the government has technology 300 years ahead of us.
Well, then they, if they got that type of technology and we're not using it to better planet Earth, then that's an issue. But that's a possibility as well, is what he's saying. But Bob Lazar said that the UFOs that we recovered, Area 51, they were from an archaeological dig, so something in the past, millions of years old, is what he's saying. And there, like, when the government tries to like sweep somebody under the rug, say, "Oh, we never seen this person," or they intimidate like the administrators to say, "No, he never was here," but they had an article featured with his face on Bob Lazar, how he was a physicist attending in that place, and then they said they don't know who he is. So that's kind of sus. And I think he's telling the truth. He's stuck to his story for what, since 1980 or something,
Yeah,
like 81.
I can't remember what it was. I don't know if that or late 80s, but yeah, he hasn't changed it since.
Exactly. It's hard to do that. Like if you're lying, it's hard to do that.
Exactly.
So I believe him. I really do.
Well, what's any new update on you moving to the UK?
No, I'm still getting everything processed. I'm trying, like I said, getting a deed in my house. Getting a deed to this house. I just need one more signature from another family member. And then because I done paid off the mortgage myself, my grandmother had.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's and she had like 30,000 in debt there, so I paid it off.
Wow, good for you.
So yeah, I got lucky.
It almost may be easier to bring her to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's cheaper, that's for sure, because I think Alabama has the lowest cost of things because it's like rural. I mean, what's the word? Rural? I can't say it right now. Okay. Yeah, that I can't talk today. But yeah, and so that's a good option. But I don't know. I think the UK be, for me personally, it'd be kind of a new experience, like a new journey. So I think I'm glad we're going. I don't think I want to stay here in Alabama much longer. 33 years. I think I had enough.
Well, once you get over to the UK, you can easily travel through Europe. You're already there, basically.
Yeah. She was talking about a company that specializes in transporting pets because the policy is so strict. So I would have to go through France.
Wow.
Then through the UK, because they know how to circumvent the system. So with that, because it's a lot harder to get your pets in. I mean, even if you got all the paperwork, it's still hard. It's just difficult. But
yeah,
we're getting to the point. But like I said, just need one more signature. And I'm almost done tying everything up, ready to go.
I can't wait to see you during my live stream from the UK. I think that'll be awesome.
It will be. I'll definitely, most definitely. The pictures I sent you before was I was only there for a week, right? But I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've never flown in the quality of seat I had before with a Delta, and I was just say it's a whole different world.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's great.
Yeah. So when you get like first class, I call it first class, not first class, but first class number 2. Right. That's what I got to go there. And it was just like, you get the whole 9 yards, you can lay all the way back. And that's the type of plane that I get ready to go. I'm going to try to get that type of ticket again, because it was enjoyable. That's awesome. It's a new experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I need to run. I got 5 people, I think 5 people waiting on me. Wow. It's a busy night.
Busy night. Yeah, busy night. Well, I appreciate it.
Well,
love
thanks,
y'all.
man. We love you. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
All right. And a big round of applause for Merlin. All right. So next up is author W. Blackman II. Let's bring him in. Let's see what's going on. So Merlin, that's a good thing that Merlin mentioned. Merlin, you're welcome to friend me on Facebook. Merlin friended me on Facebook. The link is in the description below. My last name is Reynolds. So my last name isn't Mara. Mara is my beloved wife. So if you see that, you won't be confused. And you're welcome to friend me. I'm accepting all the friends until I reach my limit of which I believe is 5,000. So feel free. There's also below what we have in the description is a link to our cooking channel, a link to our music channel. Those are kind of, the music channel is really more of a something in progress. We have one really popular video on the cooking channel, how to make broccoli sprouts. A link to our website. And by the way, where the website is now back under construction. There's my email address to contact me from there, but we decided to take it down and do some more work on it. We just didn't feel like it was ready. So hopefully that will be up within a week or two. Also, there is a link to our NDE channel, which we just play indie clips only. And there's a link to our merch. And what else is there? I don't even know what's there. Well, let's see. I think the only other thing is our Facebook page for the podcast. So that is there as well. Okay, what happened? It shows joining. Arthur's there. Looks like he's there twice. There's one here and there's another one. All right, and yeah, and then I might switch merch companies or do something else once we hit 100,000 subscribers, which we're almost there. And try to revamp that as well. So that's something that we might want to keep your eye on. And we're almost there. What are we at? Hopefully we're at 98,000. I was hoping to be by 98,000. Oh, here we go. It looks like he's here. We just got to wait for Arthur's sound to come online. Arthur, are you there? There it goes. He's connecting. Hey, Arthur.
Hi, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Awesome.
All right.
I've been trying to get on your show for a minute.
Well, that's okay. So are you in Chicago?
No, I'm not. I'm in Michigan.
In Michigan. All right. In Detroit or where?
No, it's about an hour from Detroit, north.
Really? Interesting that you are a Bears fan, even though you are in Michigan.
I'm originally from Chicago.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to share with us tonight?
Well, I would like to share an experience I had, an NDE when I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow. I
came out of my body.
How did you die?
Okay, so I can get to that. I pretty much fell into like a deep sleep, if you will. But so for the longest time, I always had this question, like, where did everything come from? Is there a God? All that. And so I started like researching evolution and all this other stuff. And I never, I never felt complete or satisfied with the results, the answers I would get. So one night I laid on my sister's black leather couch and I said with a real sincere heart, I said, God, if you're real, please show me because I want to believe, but I just don't know. And next thing I know, I just like dozed off into a deep sleep. And when I opened my eyes, I was floating up to the ceiling and got up to the ceiling and I want to say I turned. I don't know if I turned or if I was just able to see a body laying on the couch. And so I saw some guy laying on the couch and I'm thinking to myself, like, who is that? And the more and more I looked, it was almost like I was looking at my own reflection. And once I acknowledged that the guy laying on the couch was my body, I started to think like, okay, if that's my body, how am I up here looking down at it? Very strange. So once I acknowledged that was my body, faster than you can blink, Jeff, I was surrounded by darkness. I was in a different place. There were demons all around me and laughing. As soon as I entered into this darkness, these demons were laughing. It was almost like they were happy I was there, but happiness that did not exist in this place. I know that sounds really strange, but so I was terrified in that darkness. Like, this darkness probably could have put a black spot on coal.
Were you already like having some type of anxiety or death anxiety or existential crisis before you asked God to give you a sign?
So years prior to that, my dad took his own life, committed suicide. So I was going through a lot of things, you know, in life, not accepting it, and then kind of questioning things, like, you know, so.
All right.
So from that point of being in that darkness with those demons laughing at me, I started falling, Jeff, and I was falling really fast. It had to have been for a long time. And I can't tell you how long, right? Because in this realm that I was in, it was like, you have this information. Like, I knew those were demons, even though I couldn't see them in the darkness. And when I was falling, I knew it was for a long time. I just didn't know how long. I knew I was scared. I was terrified. And you know how when you go outside at night, I know I got like 15 minutes, so I'm going to try to go as fast as possible. Sure. So you know how when you go outside at night, you look up in the sky and you see stars, right? Well, as far away as those stars are from you, there was a star-like thing below me that I was falling towards. And it was like the color of red and orange, if you will. And I was falling towards it really fast, Jeff. And this information, or voice, if you will, came into my mind. It wasn't really a voice. It was more like I understood what it was telling me, but it was more like more of information. But it came into my mind and it said, "You're on your way to burn in hell forever." I was terrified, Jeff.
Were you falling or were you being pulled? And two, real quickly, do you feel like you deserved to be there?
Yeah. I guess I would say I did deserve to be there. I guess I would say that. It was like I would have to say yes, Jeff.
Okay. You don't have to tell us why. I was just curious why you were going in that direction.
Okay.
And I just thought that would fill in the story a little bit.
Well, I would say because prior to that, I said, "God, if you're real, please show me, because I want to believe, but I just don't know." So I believe ending up there was because I didn't know God. I didn't know the Lord. Okay. And that's what I believe. And so at that point, prior to the experience, I wasn't a believer. Okay. But I had a sincere desire to know.
You could say that you weren't religious as well.
So my parents would take me to church when I was little. I would read the Bible sometimes, but then put it off and question so many things. So yes and no.
Okay. All right.
So I was kind of in the middle, like, right. So that information entered into my mind and said, "You're on your way to hell to burn forever." And I was terrified. I screamed out, Jeff. Why I screamed this out, I don't know, but I screamed it out. And my exact words were, "Father God, please forgive me in the name of Jesus Christ." So I screamed this out as if I was like on fire, like I was screaming. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to blow your eardrums, you know, the way I actually did it. But I said, "Father God, please forgive me in the name of Jesus Christ. Before I could pronounce the T at the end of Christ, Jeff, I was already back in my body.
You know, it's pretty awesome is the majority of my guests, if not all of them, who were going to a place like you were, as long as they either called out to God or Jesus, they always got out, basically, or 99% of the time.
So I'm back in my body at this point, and I just remember looking around and blinking. I could not move my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laying there looking around, blinking, I'm thinking to myself, what just happened? Was that a nightmare? Like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, my heart started back up in my chest. I can hear my heart pounding. So when I say I was laying there looking around, blinking, I believe I was dead, even though I was doing that. As strange as it sounds, my heart started back up in my chest, and I believe I was dead because my heart started back up. And you know how when you're laying on your arm when you sleep, it starts to get numb, like you lose feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get blood flow, there's like a prickly sensation, and you're able to regain movement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how it was. So my heart started back up. I felt blood going back to my extremities, through my legs, my arms, fingers, feet, toes, and that tingling sensation. I'm sorry, Jeff.
That's okay. The cat can stay.
That's Lola.
We're happy to see Lola.
Lola's a fan too. So the tingling sensation was getting stronger and stronger, and it started to hurt a little. And I was laying there for, I don't know exactly how long, but I know eventually I was able to regain movement and start to move my hands, my fingers, my arms, and everything, to the point where I sat up, Jeff. And I sat up, and I bet you couldn't guess what I did next. I sat up, Jeff, and you want to guess real quick?
No.
Okay. So I sat up, and I said, things like that don't happen.
Oh, so you
right?
didn't believe it. Wow.
Right. So I was like, things like that don't happen. So I got up, and I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm like, maybe I saw my reflection. Maybe somehow I saw my reflection. I'm looking at the ceiling, trying to see if something reflected my body. Maybe I fell asleep with my eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, just a regular ceiling. So I'm pacing back and forth down downstairs at my sister's house, trying to convince myself that this did not happen. And then I'm thinking, okay, what was it that I said? I'm thinking to myself, what was it that I said? And what happened next? It was, God, if you're real, please show me, because I want to believe, but I just don't know. And then I'm floating up to the ceiling, entered into this darkness, hearing demonic laughs, falling. Information comes into my mind. You're on your way to hell to burn forever. I'm screaming out, Father, God, please forgive me in the name of Jesus Christ. Boom, I'm already back in my body before I could pronounce the T at the end of Christ. And then that happened on the couch. I sat up, doubted, and I could not convince myself it did not happen. So it just weighed on my mind, Jeff, for a while. And I'm like, what is going on? You know? And so I kind of brushed it off, went to sleep, woke up, told my sister about it, because I could not get it off my mind. Like this, my sister's making her coffee, drinking her coffee, looking at me like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you know? And I'm like, no, sis, you have to believe me. This is what happened. And she's, oh, okay, yeah, okay, maybe you had a nightmare, you know, whatever. I was like, no, I was floating up in your ceiling. I was looking down at myself. So I started to make, some breakfast, cooking on the stove, and started weighing really heavy on me, Jeff. And I was like, to where it was impacting me emotionally. Like I was feeling really bad. And so I started to walk into the bathroom downstairs, And I started to feel really sad and emotional. And I know when I looked up, Jeff, I can't tell you if it was inside my head or if it was outside, but I know when I looked up, I saw a man on the cross covered in blood and sweat. And his head was down to his right. Hair was covering his face a little. His arms were stretched out. And when I looked up at him, he spoke to my heart. And it wasn't like verbally. It was like spiritually, emotionally, like
telepathically.
Yes, it was telepathically. It was beautiful emotions that penetrated my heart, Jeff. And if I were to translate those emotions into words, it was like, this is why I did this, so you didn't have to go there. And it all made sense to me, Jeff. And I was like, whoa. Well, at that time, I'm like, I broke down and started crying and asking them to forgive me. And I just never since then, I'll never question if God is real. And I've always been passionate about this. I know my printer, I tried to print this out, but I actually have my testimony on YouTube if your viewers want to look that up.
All right. What's your name of your YouTube channel?
It's Arthur Blackman.
Arthur Blackman.
I got about 1,000 views. I'm not a big guy like you yet.
All right. Well, you can be. You can be bigger than me.
Oh, no. So, and it's, and I say that as, using a sense of humor, because in no way, shape, or form do I really care to be popular or anything. It's all glory to God. I believe all the recognition and glory goes to God and Jesus Christ.
Have you become much stronger in your faith since then?
Yes. So my testimony, it's if your viewers type in Arts NDE testimony, Jesus Christ, God, heard my cry and saved me from hell. So it's about an hour long. So I kind of gave some backstory, some background. And so if they don't want to hear the whole entire background, they can fast forward.
You would be perfect for two channels that are Christian-based paranormal channels and Christian-based NDEs. Do you know Peggy Robinson?
I'll write that down.
She would probably love to have you. And then there's another guy that I've had him as a guest of mine. I don't know why I can't remember his name. And he's got a big YouTube channel, much bigger than mine. And it's a Christian paranormal or Christian NDE channel, basically.
Okay.
And I don't know why I can't remember him, but he is, and maybe even Dorothy Shelton. She's also a Christian-based paranormal channel. And they would probably I'm not saying we don't love you here, but I'm saying that they would especially love you because you are perfect for their channels. Dorothy Shelton's got a big one, and there's another one. Gosh, I can't know why I can't remember his name. And it'll probably come to me later once I go to the next guest. But I can't remember. I was thinking his name is Jeff, but I don't think it's Jeff because that's another guy. That's Jeff Olson. His name is something, and he has had an NDE. He's been my guest. He's had an NDE, and he has his own kind of Christian-based NDE or paranormal kind of supernatural channel. And it would be amazing. But you had an amazing experience, life-changing experience, and it obviously has changed you. Do you fear death at all anymore?
No, not at all. Not at all, because I know where I'm going now.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I'm going now because I've accepted the Lord Jesus Christ into my heart. I believe he is the truth, the way, and the life.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like the Bible says, those who believe are not condemned, but those who do not believe are condemned already. So no, I don't fear death. I don't.
Great. That's awesome. Well, Art, thank you.
And I
Go ahead.
do want to add this. I
Mhm.
do want to add this, Jeff. I'm sorry. I know
Good. It's all right.
we're on a time limit. My brother Ben, he actually told me about you. He's out of Ohio.
Has he been a guest?
No, but he has had somebody. He knows somebody who has been a guest on your show, and he set it up for him. I can't tell you the testimony or anything like that. I don't remember, but he was like, yeah, I had hooked up another guy and put him on JeffMara's show. You'd be awesome to be on there. And I was like, yeah, that'd be nice. So I heard about you through my brother Ben. I'm not going to say his last name out of respect for him, but he's out of Ohio, and I'm telling you, if you have a number one fan, Ben is your number one fan.
Well, I think that's great.
There's not anything. There's no show that you've had that he hasn't watched or memorized to a T. So, yeah.
Well, I want to say, Art,
but thank you for having me.
Thank you, Art, for coming and sharing with us. We really appreciate you, and I wish you the best. And I think you had an amazing experience. So thank you again.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you, Art.
and thank you to your audience as well. God bless.
Thank you. God bless you, Art.
All right.
Take care. And a big round of applause. Oh, where did it go? There it is for Art. All right, Aiden Crooks is next. Let's see what's up with Aiden. And I was going to tell you guys, so we have that one, again, tomorrow night's NDE is someone who, he kind of reviewed the NDE, but he was on about 6 months ago, had an NDE. It's a fresh NDE from 2021. He was still processing it, probably still processing it today, but it was heavily new for him. And after being on the podcast, him reading your comments truly helped him. So I think you guys will enjoy that. And Aiden, are you almost? Oh, let me have to ask him to unmute. Aiden, I think you're here now. Can you hear me?
I am, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I was hearing your stream still.
That's okay. Zoom sometimes takes a minute for it's, what does it say? It says connecting with the audio source or something. But you're here.
My quality's awful.
You're fine. You're here. We're happy to have you. So where are you zooming from?
I'm zooming from Oregon.
Awesome.
Like
what
the
city?
mid-coast, I guess.
Like
Coos
Eugene?
Bay. Yeah.
Coos Bay? I don't know. All I know is Eugene and Portland.
We're not that far from Eugene. It's only like a couple miles out. We're not a couple miles, a couple hours.
Did you say Goose Bay?
Under the miles. No, Coos Bay, like coos.
Coos Bay, okay.
Birds.
I had a
like
guess.
The seagull.
It is on the Pacific Ocean though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've had a guess there, somewhere around there before. It's a ship captain, NDE-er.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So
no, I honestly expected to have an NDE recently, but was saved.
Okay. Well, what do you have to share with us?
Man, and that's the weird part too, is I almost wanted to just meet you too, because I just think it's really interesting what you're doing, and
we're here.
You're clearly successful. Yeah. And that's very interesting too. I mean, it's obviously not how I'd prefer to meet, but it's a meeting nonetheless. Yeah. So I guess where to begin? It's kind of a long story, so I'll just go to like the paranormal aspects, the ones that you're interested in. I won't waste your time. Or, other guest time, I guess.
Well, it's not wasting our time. I just have to limit it to only so much time because I've got more, to try to fit everybody in. That's what it is.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
For sure. I guess to begin with, I had a really rough breakup, as most people do around my age, I guess, when they have a high school sweetheart who they realize is not the one.
Right.
So that happened. I was pretty devastated by that, and I started pursuing tarot cards. Like I got pretty deep into tarot. Or not pretty deep. I really just scratched the surface, because I feel like when people get really deep, they start to do like the manifestation stuff. I didn't really get to that point. I kind of just what I recognize now as like being guided by spirit. I wasn't really sure which spirits I was going with. It was kind of just whatever spirit the other person was tapping into. And yeah, anyways, I basically just started to give up on it because it wasn't really actually, again, manifesting in reality, but they were kind of prophesying over my life, didn't end up being true. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to work out. Like, I don't, I don't see this happening like at all. And like the only things I'm really getting is like maybe sometimes they mention things that I'm doing, which are kind of just a lot of like vague, really broad things. Like it seemed like it was just like my understanding of fortune telling most of the time, or a lot of these things, is usually they're just kind of like a familiar spirit. It's like something that we all understand, we all know, but it's not really like supernatural necessarily. They're just like counting on chaos, you know, like overcoming chaos. I believe in like a duality, for example, now of the idea that there is, I guess, like a quantum state, like a qubit of everything, every concept that there is, where you could imagine like, man, this is going to take a little bit. I shouldn't go into a bunch of concepts. The point is just duality, like of everything.
Right.
And that is like a really obvious thing. You know, there's always this partiality to things. I feel like I'm using my hands a lot.
Right.
I'm a pretty self-conscious person. And ironically, I've been a speaker, but I still have a lot of anxiety.
That's okay. I think that people will say that if you exist in this realm, that's the realm of duality, part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's kind of the thing about, again, it's like the light and the darkness, that kind of whole aspect, I think, is really what it gets down to eventually, right? Is like the nothing and the something fighting. Yeah, for sure. And I really like that perspective. That's good. But ultimately, those are somehow one. And or there's like, you know, that's some sort of system in itself, I guess. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And so anyways, that's the big thing, is like I normally, yeah, and I'll go into the part that people are really interested in too. I shouldn't, again, it's not about me. It never is. And I'm really working on like getting past the self. I'm hoping to just like reach people and talk to folks that seem to be like really, again, like a wise man knows he's a fool. So it's like that whole, I also, again, like I'm trying to find the oneness in everything. So anyways, the idea of the qubit of the duality is you're just talking about duality. Like ultimately it's just that, the idea of parity basically. And anyways, to get past that, I really just want to mainly make sure that I'm hopefully reaching people to express love better, because that's ultimately what I view everything as, because of my understanding of who I now call God, or what I now call God, or whatever, you know, he would prefer or they would prefer. But again, like it all just depends on the way that things have been drawn out, you know, from the beginning. I do feel like there's a importance to history, and you can't just like throw away a timeline, that you kind of have to at least honor it for others too that aren't yet to reach that point, haven't accepted higher truth, for example. And I do think that's really important. Like there's an element of love, and it's like it's a paradox actually, where it doesn't really have a duality to it, where you have to choose, you both have to choose. There's like a meeting in the middle, sort of speak, that again, it doesn't always happen, and that's kind of what keeps it in this state of flux. And so I know this might be really abstract. I'm sorry. Again, like I really take these things too metaphysically, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, you're a deep thinker.
Yeah, I guess so. It's very cerebral though. It's like, it's really like on the tip of your brain, so to speak, you know. But I don't necessarily buy into like third eye stuff. I personally try to stay away from as many different mediums to reach the truth as possible. I think that's really healthy for people. I think you shouldn't, I mean, besides text, I feel like one of the big ones is like scene or video, you know, images. I think images are really helpful. I think that reading, you know, is really helpful too, because it doesn't like force an image onto you. You allow it to kind of just be this space in your head, which you can trust a little better, I guess. Or, you know, it's more free for your personal interpretation, your personal journey, rather than what someone else wants you to experience. Because again, but it's all still interpretation, nonetheless. So the point is I will go back now to the story. That's kind of a little preface to where I'm at now. How did I get here, and what does that all mean? And how did I get here? Basically, I didn't really receive much results from the tarot, so I was like, okay, this isn't really working out. I'll have to, I don't know, try something else. And so eventually I got to the point where I was being more specific with my tarot readings, or just anything. Again, it was really just spirituality. I couldn't find many. This is before I had also discovered just the power of NDEs. I feel like that has been the best experience I've had so far, is people's personal understanding of heaven, or like this, I don't know a good word for paradise, but yeah, just of paradise. And it seems to be the best way, I would say, in a lot of, again, it just gives you the most hope. You can actually sense the truth in people a lot better, depending on how, like, I guess, lucid they are. Sometimes that can be an issue if they're fighting off some other stuff in their background, right? And again, I really do think that's a big part of it. I've met a lot of people that have some, I talk to a lot of homeless folks, for example, and they often are very, I would say, just disturbed. I mean, like, they have a lot of stuff that they can't, it's like repressed, you know, they just can't express themselves. And that ultimately, at least that buildup, you know, that I feel like is just so harmful. I mean, you get caught in your head too much and you need to be able to get that out. You just feel, and it's a lot of stuff that, and the shame of it is too, it's not even stuff that's in your head. It's just like what the world has placed on you and all these burdens, and you can't really go back in time enough or to express it well enough to get past it. Again, that's what therapy's about. You know, like, that's a very common thing, is repression.
So
and I feel like that's what they're going.
I'm going to try to guide you a little bit. You had this.
Thank you.
You broke up with your girl, and now where are you at?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, I broke up with her. I did a tarot reading, and I kept getting tarot readings basically with this, and it sounds really silly now. Like, it's actually embarrassing.
Well, not for our
for
our audience. We talk about. I just had a tarot master on the other day. Did you see that one with Rich?
I missed that one. I actually am I focus on only certain videos, just depending on the titles and some other stuff. Yeah, so I'm a little bit picky. I don't mean to be, but I'm on my own journey. I accept that.
Well, you resonate with, not everybody resonates with every guest.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see I'm blushing really hard. It's that bad?
No, you're
I
doing
blush
great.
a lot.
Look, you're doing great.
Okay. The point is, point being, I just kept getting the same tarot cards. So, like, coincidences were a big thing that started happening. I did have my own personal coincidences. Like, the more I kind of trusted what I now know as spirit, the more I trusted, like, destiny, so to speak, I guess. String theory is, like, more intellectual, might say. I just had these really crazy coincidences. It would be stuff where, like, I spoke at the same time as, like, something else was being said on, like, mainly videos. I would just be watching a video and I'd say it at, like, the exact same time, like 3 or 4 consecutive times, or I'd be thinking something and they would say it at the moment I had, like, basically in my head saying that thought. And I was like, this is so freaky. But it was also like a message almost. It was usually to, like, get my attention. It was clearly like something like, hey, I'm listening to you. I'm here, you know. And I was like, this is, like, it was very personal. It felt very personal. And it didn't feel like it was something that I was making up either. Like, I've had moments where I've done hallucinogenics. I've done even just non-hallucinogenic drugs, to the extent where it was, the point is, I've done a lot of that stuff, and I know the difference between being, like, lucid and not. And this was completely external and internal. It was, like, definitely one of those meeting in the middle moments where I chose to accept this this thing or whatever, and it encountered me. And through just, like,
So
chance, like, undeniably, like, miraculous chance.
Are you saying, when you said encountered you, are you saying you encountered a being, or just some synchronicities?
Yeah, it's the thing. Again, it was, like, beyond synchronicity, because I guess you could call it synchronicity if you want to call it, like, just, like, energy, or, and again, I don't like using terms like it. I think there's a personality, for example. There's characteristics to everything, all that is, including being itself, like, what it means to be an observer, to be a person that goes on a journey, I guess you could say. And they all have personalities. Again, the observer usually has the thing with, like, images, for example, right? they also can hear. Again, it's like it's a sensual thing, or it's not sensual. It's what I call spiritual. It's energetic. I don't know. It's just kind of, but there's a lot of trust to it. It's hard to describe, and I don't really want to get bogged down by that, though.
Well,
because that's something I'm still working on.
Right. Let me tell you this, that I've done at least 500 near-death interviews. 500 at least, and I still do not have all the answers. I'm still putting puzzle pieces together. I'm almost surrendering to that I will never have all the answers, even if I listen to a million of them. So, we're all on our own spiritual journey. This podcast has become my own personal spiritual journey, and we're all on our journey, and we're all learning, and it's almost every podcast I pick up a little jewel here and there. And so, I think you're a great guy, and, you're on your own journey, and you're doing awesome. And, one of the biggest lessons I get from that indie ears say over and over again is that we sometimes take things too seriously and enjoy it while we're here. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'd like to gamify things. I know we're probably out of time basically at this point, right?
Right. I need to run here in a minute, but I was just gonna say that, like I said, I mean, I don't know where I just kind of wanted you to know that I don't have all the answers. I don't know if anybody has all the answers, but we're all on our journey.
Part of the game.
Yeah, it's part. And maybe you're not supposed, if you're going to be here, because some people believe this is Earth School, that you're not supposed to have the answers, or you wouldn't be learning anything. If you already knew how to cheat the game, then it wouldn't be a game, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So point is, I'll just skip all the stuff now because I realize I'm taking up a lot of time. Basically, I kept getting this tarot card where they would draw a guardian angel. Yeah. And that guardian angel just kept being Michael. I think it was like 3 times. It was only 3 readings, which is also like a special number, I guess. But 3 times it ended up happening. I was like, oh, who is Archangel Michael? Like, I've heard this term. I understand this is like a biblical thing, right? Kind of. I actually don't even think I knew that. That was the crazy part. I had no idea. I just thought like angels and God stuff and biblical stuff was completely separate. So I end up falling asleep thinking about this too, like, quote unquote manifesting, like I'm kind of starting to scratch the surface of that. And then when I wake up early in the morning, I have to go to work. I was a janitor at the time. I saw this blue light coming in through my window, like this bright blue light. And as I'm about to try and get up and see it, like right as I could feel my muscles, like my nerves firing, it went away. The light just disappears. And that personally also felt very spiritual. I was like, there's no way it could know like when my nerves were firing. Like it didn't give me a chance to see it besides the light. And then I end up looking up later that day, what does this mean? Like, what are the signs? What does this sign mean? And it turns out that it's actually Archangel Michael's thing. And I don't even know if I've actually been able to re-find this article because it's been a bit. It's been like a year now. And I've tried to like review it. But I mean, seriously, like the first articles that I found was like, it's a, was it royal
Sign
purple that ends up looking like a blue? Yeah, for Michael. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Like this is definitely a good sign. Like I'm being led somewhere. Like I'm having a breakthrough, for sure. And so I end up like looking into Archangel Michael, and he's mentioned in the Bible. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, what does it say about this dude? And it talks about like the truth and everything. And I was, prior to being spiritual, the thing that I thought was most fundamental is truth. Anyways, all that stuff happened. And now I believe in Jesus. I'm a born again Christian. I personally, he is my savior. I think that what he did represents the highest form of love, to glorify God by actually sacrificing yourself. And again, just the way he did it and who he represents. And like, if you read his acts again, like his understanding of like the complete forgiveness, the mercifulness that he shows, I think is like the epitome of love.
I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome that you found your path. That is great.
Definitely.
Well, Aiden, thank you so much, brother, for coming on and sharing with us. We really appreciate you, and have a great rest of your evening over there in Oregon.
Yeah. No, I'm like 200 miles away from Portland. I'm very far.
All right.
But yeah, it's all Oregon, right?
Right. All right, brother.
Portland just takes up the whole metropolitan. Okay, yeah, see ya.
Take care. And a big round of
course.
applause for you.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know if you're going to hear it. Let me see. There we go. You'll have to hear it when you go for the replay. Cheers. All right, so our good friend Leslie Kings is here. Oh, he did. We have to say thank you for that. That's right. I forgot. And it looks like Leslie might be here to... He's got 2 of them here, so maybe he's here to channel some music. Let's see.
Definitely Leslie's here.
Definitely he's here. Hello, Leslie. Welcome back.
Yes.
Nice to see you again, young man.
I really have a temptation for come back to weekly. You know,
you're welcome. You're always welcome.
Very nice weather, June, July. I mean, it was summerish time, and I'm I was happy, but no talk. I know if I talk, this is a double 2 hours podcast for me.
Wow. Are you here to play for us today? Let me turn on your other one. Did you hear my instrument earlier?
Beautiful, yes. Yeah, definitely.
It's just a droning instrument, so you only play 1 note, basically. But
good start.
I need you to go learn the sitar, and so I'll accompany you. How about that?
And we can try. I'm not sure for how support well the Zoom, but have a lot of possibility.
Maybe we'll try to play together sometime. I'll be the background instrument for you.
Interesting. I can hear my voice doubled now, but no problem.
All right. So for those of you who are here that are new, Leslie channels live piano music, and he does it also on his channel. And he does that after we play here, so
I find out.
There we go. Now we can see. Now we can see he's legit. He's not faking playing. We can actually watch him play.
And the last 2 your visitors shared interesting about Jesus, and So let's go to the angels. I believe have something in my heart for. Channeling something from this type of voice. Of course, this is just a synthesizer, but behind, inside me, I believe have something to give, and this love music for all your audience.
Let's hit a key to make sure we can hear it.
Yeah, I carefully push the on button.
Yep, we hear you. Okay. All right, are you ready?
I read it online.
Beautiful job, Leslie. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
So you guys, if whenever I finish, I always encourage you to go to Leslie's channel because Leslie keeps the paranormal party going. You guys are welcome to go to his channel, listen to him channel music for you, and you can still hang out in the chat. So that it's not, you don't have to end the night just because I finish.
Welcome.
You would agree with that, right, Leslie?
Yes, and also the channel very simple for my name, Leslie Kings.
That's true. That's true. I should have said that. His YouTube channel is called Leslie Kings.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. We appreciate you. We hope everything is going amazing in Hong Kong. By the way, I'm going to be recording a guest from Hong Kong pretty soon. I think next week. Yeah, so I might have to mention to him, you guys can get together and hang out.
Yes, it's very important for nobody here
in
Hong Kong. And extract I thought for maybe just a dinner party for those who similar.
And I think it's an Italian man living in Hong Kong. I think his first name is Aldo.
Okay, it's
So
going to be nice.
Go. Yeah. All right, Leslie, thank you and have a great evening.
God bless you.
God bless you, my friend. Take care. And that was Leslie. All right, now Mr. Cake is here. So we'll give him another round of applause. And we'll see where Mr. Cake is. I hear him. There he is. Well, hello there.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I just wanted to pop in here and say I love you all. Love you all.
We love you, and we love those orbs.
I love the glowing orbs. They give me energy, darling. They give me energy. I like to go around and juggle for people and just go, hello, hello, hello.
It'd be cool if do you ever go out at nighttime and juggle for people with those orbs?
Oh, yes, I will. I will do that.
I heard this and I just thought of this. I was listening to Sylvester Stallone. That's a new voice you got to learn how to do. And he was saying that life is a juggle. Life is juggling. And I thought of you when he said that. We're always juggling different things of importance in our life. And life is juggling.
Yo, we'll be juggling, Oh, we're going to put something very large here, folks. Very large. You're going to have it. Someone wanted to hear me go, I'm an enlightened taxi cab driver in India, my friend. Come along for the ride.
That's a new one. That is a new voice.
Well, I do a bunch of impressions and stuff like that. And I say I went through the Enlightenment so they can just take over my voice. So before I just do like movement stuff, it's like a process where they'd start like taking over my. First, it was just like a pressing on my arm and stuff like that. Then they'd start moving my body. I thought this was spirits, but now I'm left with a voice that corrects me. So I said, why don't they correct everyone? They said they don't want it. It's kind of like it's for me. Like we all have our own individual. We're not going to be clones. We all have our own experiences. But I wanted the truth beyond the truth. That's called enlightenment, where you're above, you're beyond all belief systems, and that includes Christianity. I looked at some of the comments I used to make. I was preaching Jesus. Jesus loves you. In fact, during the Enlightenment, they'd take my voiceover and they'd have me go around and preach Jesus to people. I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what was coming out of my mouth there, laddie. I met Sean Connery once. He taught me a trick. With a cross face.
Well, you speak of the mind jackers, but the way you're talking about there sounds like they're body jackers because they're hijacking your body too. Right?
I am the mind jacker. I have taken control. Total control of Steven. He can't move. We've got him. We've got him by the balls, if you know what I mean, man. You know, we go. See, we're moving his head. We've got his eyes locked shut, and we're just gonna have some fun with him. Like he's very special to us, so we're not gonna do anything bad with him, but he's gonna be having a lot of fun. This is what I've been doing a lot, is just praying a lot, because it's like sending that out there. It's like, try to get, this is what they said, it's for me. It's like, try to get what you want in life. Because I thought, I'm just going to wait my life out. And they said, don't do that. Don't wait. Live this life. So I've been praying, and I appreciate all the prayers that everyone does. Right now I'm praying for billions of dollars.
I hope
And then
you get it.
Yeah, I can start the good person training, you know. So, because we want everyone to care about the truth and value each other and be a blessing to each other. That's what it's all about.
Are you still putting content on your YouTube channel?
Yes, I am. I put some content up there. I'm reading the comments now. That was just completely crazy and out of it, touch with reality. Yeah, just about how absurd government is, and like, they should be caring. And so I have the voice corrects me, and it says that both government and religion should just care about the truth. It should all be about the truth, and it's we the people. If everyone disagrees with the government, then is that we the people? I don't think so.
Someone in the comment is saying, "Mind jackers, leave Stephen alone."
Jackers, we need to get rid of them, folks. No, see, that's part of nowadays. I said, I want someone to help me. I want someone to help, and I kept begging for that. And reality, they said, they give you what they can give you, so they gave me a voice that will help me, because I wanted someone to help me, someone to care. So they gave me this, and they can tell me jokes and joke around. It's like, I say, God's not a therapist, but they can be your therapist. God, they can do whatever. I call it the greater mind, though, and no one's in control of it. So if the more you look into people's beliefs, the more you find that it's kind of like you can start poking holes into it. Someone wanted Captain Kirk, maybe we're going back in time and doing some things here for you. People, I love going to the blue planets. It's the Vulcans who are doing a death grip on me right now. They're going to take over the ship and ride it right out of here, folks. That's the show, folks. You loved it, folks. Marty, we got to go back 19 years ago before Steve's life was destroyed. We got to go back there and save him, Marty. Save him.
So what else is new, Stephen? What you been up to since last week? Anything?
Well, I've been golfing, and I've been.
Oh, that's right. You're really into golfing now.
Yeah, I hit balls, and so I just say they made it easier for me to do things.
Do you just go to the driving range and? Is that what
yeah, say that. I would say I'm a master at golf, but they said no one's a master at golf. Tiger Woods, he's got a 5-iron, hits the ball. I hit like when I get up there, I say $10 billion. I'll be out like 230 yards, and I'll say $10 billion if I put this on the green. And that just gives me that mental focus to just hit it right on that green.
Have you played golf throughout your life? Is that something that,
Yeah, I started, played old golf. I play disc golf. I play old golf. I play with all the balls I can find, darling. I love it. But one thing I do is I never curse out there. If I make a bad shot, I kick my club and I say, I love you, because we can train our thinking. We can shift things, because cursing things never ever helps. So they taught me during the Enlightenment to say, God bless this shot. God bless this putt. Every time I hit a shot, every time I do something, because we just need that extra power. That's what I say. We just need that focus, that power, that energy. And I wanted to be Darth Vader, but a good Darth Vader, if you know what I mean. A good Darth Vader, one who knows how to. And they teach me, like the laws may be the laws, but people in power are going to do what they want. So you got to have people like myself, enlightened people who love people. They have to be in power, because the laws are not going to stop the bad guys from doing what they want. They'll never stop anyone. So you got to have people in there that care about the truth, and they care. That's what we need. So we can't just solve.
I have a request from Luke that wants you to do Trump imitating Yoda.
I love Trump, shit. Yoda. Well, I got a new little green man here, folks. A little guy. He's going to teach me a lesson. Little green guy. I love green. Green's the best color, folks. I love it, love it, love it. Green, but I like blue. Samuel L. Jackson on an airplane. Chicken wings, chicken bones. He wants a purple lightsaber. He's getting a purple lightsaber. We're going to give him whatever he wants. And that's what they tell me. They said, you deserve all these good things. You deserve, because my whole life, it was like I was told I'm bad and I deserve bad things. And after my life was wrecked, I would sit there and like literally just like hit myself until I would pass out on the ground. Wow. And it took me years. And so I say I've gone through the grinder. And when I say nobody can even relate to what I've got, no one has any clue. But I want to love. I want to serve. That's what I want to do. And that's what I pray for every day. If you can say, God, because I say we'll never understand reality. Because you said you'll never figure it out. And I say, do they have to go through the Enlightenment? And I said, but we need to listen to the enlightened people. We need to listen to those people.
Do you communicate with your siblings?
Oh, no, darling. They don't like me very much.
They don't.
High ground. They have low ground. My sister won't even talk to me, and they all denied the teeth filing, that. And
but
my brother,
can't they just look at your teeth and see them filed down?
No, from a distance they look fine though, because it's the back teeth. It's like the chewing teeth.
Oh.
So I only have one tooth I can chew on anymore now, and it's painful. So I'm praying for a good dentist to help me. That's what I'm praying for.
I don't know any in Minnesota.
Just make me God of the universe. Maybe I could get on the History Channel if my hair looks wacky enough, and I could go, aliens are out there. I got to have enough hair and enough lights circling me, and then I'll be famous.
Yeah, the hair and the orbs.
Yes, that's the and then the aliens are gonna give me information. I'm gonna channel them, folks. We're gonna do some wonderful things. You're gonna love it.
Well, Stephen,
I love you.
I love you, but I've got to do let's see it.
Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night.
All right, brother. I've got to do what I got to do. We love you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Thanks for running the show, Jeff. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. Yep, there he goes. And a big round of applause for Stephen. And the next one is In a Good Way. So let's see who this is. All right, so I wanted to say tomorrow's night is the person's in. My wife here is telling me that Shira is having surgery. So maybe we can all say a prayer for Shira that she has a very successful surgery and a quick recovery.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. And yourself? Wow, I didn't know I was next.
You are next. You've been on before, haven't you?
No.
You haven't? Well, you look familiar.
Oh, well, I have a podcast, but it's nowhere as big as yours. And surprisingly, I was actually really nervous. As many people as I've talked to, I was actually nervous to come on. So.
Well, here you are, and your podcast is called In a Good Way, right?
Yes.
Well, what do you talk about on your podcast?
All things spiritual.
Awesome.
Yeah. Basically, I've gone through just about anything. Like even as I was listening to your guest right now, I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about that. Then someone else said something. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. Then someone else. Okay, so I just kept like, all right, let me just ask what people are interested in. But I don't want to take up too much time trying to figure it out.
Well, have you had your own paranormal experiences?
tons. So I mean, whether
Have
you
you
want to
had
talk,
an OBE, an NDE, a alien sighting,
yeah, all of that.
all
I
of
don't know
them?
what's an OBE.
Out of body experience?
Oh yeah, I always have those. But basically, I'll start off with this. Like you know, I actually wrote a book because if I did have an NDE, it might have been when I was in high school. I got hit. Like we were the third day of school in my junior year. I was 16. My friend's sister was picking us up, and you know, the light was turning yellow, and there was a huge U-Haul truck coming, and I guess she thought it was gonna stop on the yellow light, so she went, and if you know, instead it sped up and it hit where I was, and then I mean, I had a scar like the whole, you know, and I was in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, and after that, I started becoming I started having premonitions and all these things. You know, I started songwriting, and when I would write songs, I noticed things would come true that I would write in the song.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of the first sign I got that, you know, something was different about me, right? And so after that, right, and then you know, yeah, it just never stopped from there. I kept having, you know, premonitions that were so accurate. After that, it was kind of because first I was around more like the church stuff, but I noticed I couldn't talk to anyone at church about it. Like as much as it's supposed to be spiritually based, it was like I was walking on eggshells, and I couldn't open up to it because they didn't really believe, like have all these experiences that I was experiencing. I couldn't share with them. They would have looked at me like I was crazy. So yeah. But I guess one thing that interested me that you guys talked about was you know, when you talked about this Project Bluebeam thing. I heard about that after, but I had a vision like maybe, I don't know, it was before the pandemic, right? It was a few years, and it was crazy. It was like I came out and there was this like planet above us, right? So there was a planet above us, and everyone's out in the street looking up at this planet. So I get down on my back and I pull out my phone to record it, and I guess I must have zoomed in. And as I'm focusing, I notice that everyone on the planet is still. It looks like a fake, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type planet, right? So I was like, what? And then all of a sudden I hear everybody screaming. And there were these like hybrid type beings snatching everyone up. And I was, or first, yeah, that was happening. And then I was going to run in one direction, and a voice tells me, no, go the other way. So I head the other way, and everyone that went that way was getting caught, and then I escaped, right? And then I woke up and I was like, whoa, you know, and like I said, I've had, like even the pandemic, right? I dreamed about it before it happened. I integrated a song, like that's my proof. At least the song talks about everything I saw during the pandemic. 10
What
years
type
before.
of music do you produce?
Oh, I've done everything. You know, I started with rap, hip hop, then I did reggae songs. I did, you know, I guess country type songs. I just love, I loved music. Like I was just, you know, I recorded for years, like 20 years, right, of music.
That's great.
So so I touched on everything to not get bored of music, right? But yeah, on that song, it was like a hip hop song, and I was trying to explain what I saw in this dream about the pandemic. But when it came to me was during the pandemic, I remember driving, you know how they were telling everybody to stay home. I wasn't listening because I was like, hey, I go out in nature, the mountains, there's nobody there, zero people. Like I was the only one there. So even when I got to the hills or mountains, there would be a sign like, no, you know, no one's allowed right now. And then I would just cross that and there wouldn't be anyone there, right? So I would go. And one day I remember driving and I was the only one in the streets. And that's when I remembered that dream I had like over 10 years prior that I wrote the song about. And even in the dream, right, the doomsday clock was up. And I heard someone mention the doomsday clock the other day. So I was like, wow, all these things from that dream still keep coming up, you know, and today. So it's been crazy.
Well, you've had a lot of experiences.
Oh yeah, like yeah, nonstop. So I can talk about real quick, like about the NDE type experience I had.
All right.
So I wrote a whole book about that. Recently I finished an audiobook and everything because it got really deep. But basically what happened was in 2019, my brother took his life, right? So after he took his life, I went to a really dark place. I just wasn't able to get out of there, right? So at one point, you know, they told me to reach out to somebody. And then it was clear this person was like pretty close to, I guess they were about to do the same thing as my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to reach out to them because I was like, this person was a good friend, but I was like, no, they never reached out to share their condolences when my brother passed away, nothing. Like, I'm not going to reach out to them. And then they told me if I don't reach out to them, I'd regret it. So I was like, fine, I'll reach out to them. So I told them just a simple conversation, like on Facebook. I was like, hey, how's it going? He didn't even say anything, but I somehow knew, I felt the energy that something, and I told him, hey, I'll call you. I called him, and then I went to, he lived a few miles away, so I went. And, you know, I practice my native culture and everything, right? So, you know, I took some sage with me. You know, he was there. I took out some sage, started smudging him off. And, you know, he even looked at me and he said, I know God or an angel sent you here. And then I saw it like in his face, like he was, like, you know, he was broken. Like he was at that point. So that's when I was like, oh, no way. So you let me help someone else, but you didn't let me help my own brother. Like, where was that? So it's 100% certified that, yeah, you could send me to help people, but you didn't give me the heads up with my brother, right? You know, and then so then I got a visit, right? It was these higher beings, and they took me to where my brother was, because then I think I was kind of at that point, you know, I was thinking like, hey, I'm going to take my life. Like I just couldn't shake this dark place, right?
Yeah.
And so after that, these beings appeared to me, and they started, you know, like telepathic, like everyone's saying, like it's all telepathic. I woke up, I knew, and I just started following like all these cookie crumbs, and it took me down this whole rabbit hole where it was like that. They showed me that we had agreed to it before we came.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, how, but then it just never ended. So for the course of 4 years, they took me down this rabbit hole, and that's what the whole book is about, right? Like I wrote the whole book about that.
What's
so
the title of your book?
It's called 216 and the Secrets of the Universe. It's in Spanish. I did the audiobook, so I translated it, did the audiobook version as well. And you know, that's the date he took his life, 216. So that's why it's called that.
You can find that on Amazon?
Yes, Amazon, Audible. You know, the paperback is on you know, Barnes and Noble as well, online.
Mm-hmm.
all those.
Oh, that's great. And how can people find your podcast?
Oh, just in a good way on YouTube.
In a good way on YouTube. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming and sharing with us. I wish you massive success with your book and your podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming and sharing. I've got to run, but thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Oh, you too.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause for him. And it was a busy night tonight, guys. We are way into overtime, so I need to get going. I've got to record a podcast tomorrow with someone from Montenegro. It's going to be my first guest from Montenegro. So, again, thank you guys all so much for coming and sharing with us tonight, and for all of you that are coming and just hanging out with us. And Mika wants to show you she got a new hat and a new outfit, and she looks super cute. So this is her new outfit. So she's saying goodbye. So guys, thank you all for coming. We appreciate you. We love you. God bless you.